What's the smartest thing you've ever seen someone do? Everyone at our school knew this guy, Luis, was a drug dealer. He wouldn't even try to hide it because our entire school already knew who he was. Everybody loved him, however. He literally drove the principal insane. Whenever something drug-related happened at school, he was always the first person they searched. The teachers all knew. The principal knew. Even the cops knew who he was. However, they could never actually prove it. Every time they searched him, they'd never actually catch him with anything. I'd watch as our principal would knock on our door, interrupting our class, and without even saying a word, Luis would just stand up to let them search him out in the hall. The cops would pull him over just for existing and try to search his car, but they too would never catch him with anything. The administration got so frustrated, they would cut the lock off his locker almost every week just to try and find his stash. He literally drove them insane. Then someone spread a rumor that Luis was hiding his stash in a locker that wasn't assigned to anybody. It spread like wildfire, and not too long after our principal heard. But since there were too many lockers, our principal decided to gather all of our teachers and cut the locks off literally every locker in the school to search them. The entire time, Luis literally laughed in their faces as they spent hours looking and didn't find a single thing. The administration had no idea what to do. Every time they caught another kid with something illegal at school, they'd ask where they got it, and every time the kid would always say, "I bought this from Luis." Luis actually encouraged them to say it. "Yeah, tell them it was me. I don't care." So they'd search Luis again, pat him down in the hallway in front of everyone, and brought cops to search his car weekly. He just let them. "Find anything?" he'd ask with a smirk while they completely lost their minds. But then something happened. Over Christmas break, the principal's son asked him for a new pair of shoes for Christmas. However, not just normal shoes. They were shoes that actually had a secret compartment hidden in the bottom of them that you could hide small things in. As soon as our principal heard that, light bulbs went off in his head. He couldn't wait for winter break to be over, and literally the first day back, as soon as first period started, we hear someone yell over the intercom, "Luis, get your ass down to the principal's office right now." Our principal was sure he had him this time. Luis walked into that office like he'd done 100 times before. However, this time was different. When he got there with a smile on his face, the principal didn't ask him to empty his pockets, didn't ask about his backpack. He just looked at Luis and said, "Take off your shoes." Luis hesitated. No, I don't want to." "Listen, buddy, I'm not giving you a choice. Take them off." Luis now had no other option, so he just sat down and unlaced his shoes without putting up a fight. "Okay, if you say so." He pulled them off and handed them over to him, while the principal literally shook with excitement. He was finally gonna catch him, and it turns out his hunch was right. He looked at the bottom and found the hidden compartments in his shoes. They were custom made just for Luis. Luis was laughing, but the principal was so happy this was finally over, and he finally had proof so he could expel him from school. But when the principal opened them up ready to find the secret stash, they were completely empty. Luis was laughing his ass off at this point, literally crying in the principal's office while he just stood there holding these empty shoes. The principal says, "What the hell is so funny, you little brat? Where are they? I know you're hiding them!" Luis could barely contain himself, but when he finally caught his breath, he looks the principal dead in the eye and actually has the audacity to explain that out of all days, he decided to search his shoes on the first day back after winter break. "Hey man, I haven't seen any of my classmates for weeks. I haven't been able to take any orders yet." Luis graduated that year with honors because if the principal had just waited one more day, he would have caught him.